It's only been a couple of months since the last home gym update, but we have made some of the biggest and most expensive changes to the home gym in that amount of time, so I wanted to share those changes with you. Like with all the other home gym updates that we've done, in order to provide value to you and aid you in your purchase decisions for your home gym, we're going to divide the equipment into 6 categories. Must-have equipment, goal-specific equipment, which is equipment that could be must-have or could be unimportant depending on your goals. Equipment that's probably a little bit too specific for most people. This isn't bad equipment, it's just equipment that's a little bit harder to recommend based on the price, the amount of space it takes up, the lack of versatility of the equipment, or some combination of the 3. DIY equipment, accessories, attachments, and miscellaneous stuff, and planned future updates. And now that the home gym has grown so much, we're not going to spend as much time going over each individual piece of equipment, simply because the last update video ended up being 42 minutes long, and I hope to make this video quite a bit shorter than that one. I do have dedicated reviews for most of these pieces of equipment, as well as build videos for most of the DIY equipment. So if there's any particular piece that you do want to learn more about, I will have all of those links down in the description, as well as links to purchase this equipment down in the description. First up, must-have equipment. We're gonna talk about the most important equipment. First, there's a couple of different paths that you could go down for most important depending on what your goals are. The first option that we're gonna talk about is the barbell rack and bench combo, which is gonna be relevant to most of the people that watch these videos. If you're on a budget, the most important thing that you should allocate most of your budget to is your bar. We have the Rep Deep Knurl Power Bar EX. I absolutely love this bar. If you get a cheap, crappy bar, you're going to have poor knurling. It's gonna be hard to grip the bar when you're doing deadlifts. The bar's gonna wanna slide down your back when you're doing squats and things like that. So you wanna have a good bar since it's your connection to the weight. For the rack, we have the Rogue RML3. This one is around $1,000. You could go with something much cheaper like the Rep PR 1100. It's about 350 bucks. And it's gonna be plenty for what you're gonna need for most people out there. I've seen a video of a dude squatting like 650, 700 pounds, something like that, in that rack, and it was able to handle it just fine. For the benches, we're rocking the Rep FB 5000 and the Rep AB 5100 with the optional leg attachment. You definitely don't need 2 benches. If you have a nice adjustable bench, then you can definitely get away with just the one. I purchased this, and then my parents purchased this, and that was prior to us combining our home gyms together. So now we have both a flat bench and an adjustable bench, which does come in handy when you have multiple people potentially working out at the same time. So my parents work out here, I work out here, my wife works out here. Usually it's just my parents working out or just myself and my wife working out, but sometimes we do end up here at the same time. So it does help to have some extra benches depending on who's working what at the time. Something that I've talked about extensively on the channel in the past is whether or not you should buy a flat bench versus an adjustable bench. And pretty much if you're on the fence right now and you're looking to get one or the other, you're just gonna have to ask yourself how much money you're willing to spend. Since an adjustable bench has so many moving parts, they are much more expensive to get an adjustable bench at the same quality as a flat bench. This is a top of the line flat bench. We paid 150 bucks for it at the time that we purchased it. And this is a top of the line adjustable bench, and we paid 480 by the time we added the leg roller, I believe. And so these 2 benches are of similar quality, but this one is significantly more expensive. Because of all the moving parts, if you get a cheaper adjustable bench, they're gonna have to cut some corners to hit that price point, and it's gonna be a little bit wobbly, not quite as sturdy as you would like it to be. The upholstery might not be as good as you want it to be, that kind of thing. Now, if you're just kind of the typical, I don't want to be the biggest, strongest person in the world, I just exercise to stay healthy, I'm not just an exercise workout fanatic, then you can probably get away with a little bit cheaper of a bench if you're not gonna be abusing it to the level that we would abuse this bench. As far as the plates are concerned, just get the cheapest plates that you can find, because it's literally just weight that hangs from a bar. So if you can find used plates, if you can find, yard sale plates, that type of thing, that would be the route to go. We found a special at Academy, so you could look at your local sporting goods store where it came with 45s, 35s, 25s, 2 pairs of 10s, a pair of 5s, and a pair of 2.5s, I believe, and a bar for like 180 bucks. And we got 2 of those. That's why we have these 2 different sets of plates, unfortunately. But I mean, it's hard to beat a deal like that, and that would be the route you should go if you're needing a lot of weight for not a lot of money and you don't care about the potential for them being mismatched or something like that. And as far as bumper plates go, unless you're doing Olympic lifts, you really have no need for bumper plates. And really you're gonna be better off going with metal plates because they're gonna be cheaper, they're going to last longer, they're gonna take up less space on the bar. So if you can lift really heavy and you're using bumper plates, you're gonna run out of room that you can put plates on the end of the bar, whereas that's not gonna be the case with metal plates. Taking a look at our dumbbells, which could be equally or more important than a barbell rack combo depending on your goals and your space constraints. I made a video explaining all the different dumbbell options that you can go with and which option might be the best for you based on your goals, your budget, and your available floor space. We have fixed dumbbells that go all the way from 2 pounds up to 70 pounds, which are my parents'. I have the Nuobell adjustable dumbbells, which go from 5 pounds all the way up to 80 pounds, which I received a while back for review. And I also have the Ironmaster adjustable dumbbells, which was actually my first home gym purchase before combining my equipment in with my parents'. I also have the stand, as you can see, and the 2 expansions that take these dumbbells all the way from 5 pounds up to 165 pounds a piece. So basically what we do is we use the fixed dumbbells for anything up to 70 pounds, we use the Nuobells for 75 and 80 pounds, and then we use the Ironmasters for anything 85 pounds and up. I do know that our dumbbell setup is kind of weird, but one thing that I have seen from many commenters is people saying that they use fixed dumbbells up to 50 pounds and then they used Ironmasters for 55 pounds and up, which I feel like is a pretty good option for kind of that nice balance of convenience, but then also not going way overboard in terms of budget or requiring a ton of floor space. We also have these Olympic dumbbell handles, which don't really ever get used anymore now that we have all of these dumbbells, but this is a great inexpensive option if you already have Olympic plates and you're looking to be able to do some dumbbell exercises. Next up is an adjustable plyo box. There's a ton of stuff that you can do with a plyo box. You can do step ups, you can do agilities, you can do box squats, you can put your feet up on this to do decline push-ups. You could do bench dips, putting your feet on this. There's all kinds of stuff that you can do with an adjustable plyo box. Next on the list is the monkey feet. This technically would fit into the accessory category, but I'm putting it in the must-have category because of the sheer amount of bang for your buck that you get with this piece of equipment. This is especially a must-have if you only have free weights in your home gym currently. So basically what these do, these allow you to hold a dumbbell with your feet and you can do leg extensions, leg curls, kickbacks, all kinds of ab exercises. Your imagination is the limit when it comes to these for only 75 bucks. This is a must-have. The last piece of must-have equipment is some type of cable setup or resistance band set. With cables and bands, you can train pretty much every single muscle in your body from pretty much every single angle with a cable or band setup. We have the Rep FT5000 functional trainer, which is the most expensive purchase that we've ever made for the home gym. It's unnecessary for the vast majority of people out there. It's very expensive. Most of the exercises that you can do with cables, you can do with bands, but cables are definitely better than bands, and an upgrade pick to a set of resistance bands would be our $50 high-low cable pulley setup. And if you're okay with letting go of the money, you can of course purchase a functional trainer, and that would be the best but most expensive option in this category. It was worth it for us simply because as the business has grown and I've become busier and busier, any moment that I'm working out extra is time that I'm either not working or not spending time with family. So having to take the time to change out the weight plates on the DIY cable machine just took a little bit of extra time, and just being able to pull a pin, slap it back in, adjust the cable trolley up and down to switch from exercise to exercise saves several minutes every single workout which does add up over time. Getting into the category of equipment that could be must-have depending on who you are and what your goals are, the first thing we're going to take a look at is the Kensei Easy Vest Max. This thing is incredibly versatile. This works with your existing Olympic weight plates, and you can do all kinds of exercises with a weighted vest. You can do weighted push-ups, weighted pull-ups, weighted sit-ups, lunges, step-ups, anything that you can think of that is a body weight exercise, you can now add weight to it. And each of these front and back sleeves are removable. This one is already unscrewed, so you can see that this can just pop right off if you need it to. You can take it off the front to do push-ups, take it off the back to do sit-ups, all that kind of stuff. This thing is amazing. We have all of our extra barbells right here on the wall, and the one that I want to talk about specifically, which is the next item on the list, is a new addition to the home gym, which is this Titan safety squat bar. Safety squat bars are an excellent alternative to doing squats if you have wrist, shoulder, or elbow injuries that prevent you from being able to get into a back squat position. And since the weight is kind of placed a little bit out in front of you, it's really more similar to a front squat. So if you want to do front squats, but you have wrist issues with front squats, you can use this. You can do good mornings with this. And one of my favorite uses for a safety squat bar is actually for standing calf raises. Because if you have weight on your back and you're using a straight bar, your hands are in use, so you can't then stand on a calf raise platform and have a way to balance yourself. So you have to go lighter to be able to keep balance, whereas with this, you can load it up as heavily as you want, hold on to the squat rack for balance while standing on that calf raise platform and do your standing calves. Next is the Blaze Pod training system, which is an excellent option if you are an athlete or if you have athletic goals or agility goals. These little pods will light up all kinds of different colors, and you'll put them in different configurations depending on what type of agility drill you want to do. And there's a companion app that goes along with it that'll keep your times, track your progress, see what your reaction time is, all of that good stuff. And there's different types of drills that you can do. So you can do decision-making drills where they'll light up different colors and you have to hit the one color that's different than the rest, and all kinds of different really cool cardio agility exercises that you can do. But it does fall into that conditionally must-have equipment because they are expensive, and if you don't have cardio specific goals, then this obviously doesn't fall into that must-have category for you. Next is a multi-grip pull-up bar. It falls into the conditionally must-have equipment because while pull-ups are an excellent exercise and having different grip options for pull-ups is great, most squat racks already have a pull-up bar on them, and you can easily get a pull-up bar multi-grip option with your squat rack. So having a separate multi-grip pull-up bar is typically just unnecessary for a lot of people. Getting into that equipment that's too specific, as I said earlier, the first thing that we have is the treadmill right over here and the stationary bike. There are lots of different ways that you can do cardio that don't involve big floor space consuming expensive pieces of equipment, but we got a really good deal on the bike. We had the floor space, and the treadmill was actually purchased like 10 or 15 years ago, so those were already here, but you definitely don't need either of those options for your home gym. We have a GHD, which is an excellent piece of equipment. This one was actually given to me by a friend. Jim, you're awesome. But it does take up a decent amount of floor space. They can be pretty expensive, and they only allow you to do 2 or 3 extra exercises. So in terms of bang for your buck and bang for your floor space, it's not the best deal in the world. Next, we have inversion boots, which aren't super expensive, but for what you get out of them are pretty expensive. These are around 100 or 150 bucks, I believe. And really all you get out of them is spinal decompression if you want to hang upside down, and inverted abs if you want to do that, which there's obviously plenty of other ways that you can train your abs. So in terms of bang for your buck, not the best option out there, but can be useful if you can get them secondhand for a little bit cheaper. And finally, we have a bunch of curl bars for some reason. We have a curl bar over there, we have another curl bar over here, and then we have a rackable curl bar up top, which curl bars can be useful if you have wrist pain or elbow pain during squats or tricep extensions or shoulder press, and just giving yourself an extra angle that you can hold your arms when doing those types of exercises can allow you to do those exercises without having the discomfort associated. But if you don't have pain with those types of exercises, then they're completely and totally unnecessary for you. Getting into the DIY equipment, first up is my favorite DIY that I've ever done, which is our DIY high-low cable pulley setup. As I mentioned earlier, this thing was super inexpensive. It was only around 50 bucks to make this thing. It's super smooth and super versatile. And I do still actually use this sometimes, even though we have the functional trainer over there. I will use it for lat pull downs. I'll use it for belt squats, which gets into the next DIY, spoiler alert. And I'll also use it for circuits if I'm doing my isolation exercises at the end of the workout, or if I have an accessory exercise circuit and it's 3 different cable exercises, then I'll set up biceps on one side of the functional trainer, triceps on the other side of the functional trainer, and cable abs, for example, on the DIY cable setup. The belt squat machine is the most recent DIY that we've done. It's really simple. All you do is clip this cable into the low cable pulley setup and you're good to go. And you actually get a decent amount of variety out of this thing as well. You can of course do your belt squats, you can do cable marches. If you add a lat pull down bar along with this, you could do seated calf raises, and you could do bent over cable rows as well. So several different exercises that you can do with this thing. And when you want to store it away, just unclip it and lean it up against the wall and it's out of the way. The next DIY is by far the simplest. Take a tennis ball, make a big slit in it, slide it on one end of the barbell, find a corner of the room, and then shove the barbell into it, and you have your landmine setup versus having to pay 25, 30 bucks to purchase a dedicated landmine setup. And bringing in one of the accessories early, take that money that you would have spent on the landmine and buy this little barbell eyelet attachment. And this thing will add a lot of versatility for 20 bucks. So with your landmine, you just put this on there. It comes with this short little chain. You can put all kind of different handles on here to get all kind of different landmine rows or biceps or triceps, all kinds of versatility that you wouldn't normally be able to get out of a landmine with this $20 attachment. Next is this DIY calf raise block so that you can get a full range of motion on your calf raises. And I reinforced this one laterally as well so that it could be used for a platform for low rows as well. Next up is a DIY lat pull down seat. When you're using the high pulley for your lat pull downs, you can only go up to a certain amount of weight before the weight starts to pull you off the ground, so you need something to hold you down. So a very cheap option, we already had an extra weight pin laying around, so we just put a few plates on this, take a towing strap, run under it, strap yourself down to a chair, lat pull down seat. And for the last few DIYs, we have an old skateboard ramp right there with some posts welded onto it for plate storage. For the bumper plate storage, we have an old fish tank stand that was flipped upside down, and then we put a 2x12 on top of it to make it into a table as well. And then on this side for plate storage, we literally just took an old piece of trim to keep the plates from rolling away. Taking a look at the metal pegboard here, which is another new addition to the gym, we're gonna quickly go through some accessories, some attachments, some miscellaneous stuff. Right here first, we have the neck harness, which allows you to train your neck. If you aren't training your neck, you should be training your neck. If you want to learn more about training your neck, I have a couple videos talking about that. Link down in the description. We have ankle cuffs, mine, my dad's, my mom's. Ankle cuffs are an excellent attachment. Allow you to do some cable leg extensions, leg curls, ab exercises, glute kickbacks, hip exercises, all kinds of stuff. Next up, blood flow restriction bands. We have a few different options here. We have BFR bands, Saga fitness bands, and Ronin Razor bands. And BFR training is a must-have if you don't have much weight available to train with. They allow you to get a lot of extra benefit out of training with light weight. If you want to learn more about that, again, video in the description. And if you want to spend a little bit more money, you can go with the Saga fitness bands, which are automatic, and you can dial in the exact amount of pressure that you want with these. Got some wrist wraps, got some knee sleeves, got some elbow sleeves, got a bandana for when I do plate neck extensions so that I'm not, digging into my forehead. Got the charging cable for the Saga fitness bands. We have a chain here. A chain is definitely something that you should have in your home gym if you don't already have one. You can do 2 arm or 2 leg exercises with a single cable if you have a chain. You run the chain through your little clip at the bottom, and then you can do your double arm Bayesian cable curl, or you can do seated leg pull-in with both legs, or you can do dual leg extensions or dual leg curls with only 1 cable if you have a chain. Looking at some cable handles, we have a Viking press handle. A lot of exercises you can do with that. We have a multi-grip lat pull-down handle from Rogue. We have a rope handle. We have a lat pull-down handle. We have a few different options of single handles. We have a V-bar handle, another single handle. Looking over here, we have a double-sided deadlift jack. We have a single-sided deadlift jack. We have the Genesis jack down there, and we have the dead wedge. We have all 3 of them because I did a video on that a while back, which you can check out down in the description. And lastly, some more miscellaneous stuff and storage stuff. I already mentioned that we got the pegboard to put some accessories on, and that was another big thing, kind of like with the flooring that I've mentioned before. It's something that you don't really think about making a huge difference, but having that gym flooring, which we have stall mats from Tractor Supply in case you're curious, having the gym flooring is something that really is a mindset changer, and you have that dedicated gym space, so when you go into your home gym to work out, it really feels more like you're going to the gym versus just going into some corner of the basement with some equipment. And the same thing for the pegboard, and getting all of those accessories up off the ground or off random countertops or things like that, and having them with their own specific place. It's a definite mindset changer, and it just feels better to be in here versus before we got those things. For the dumbbell storage, we did previously have 3 dumbbell racks right there. So that 3rd dumbbell rack was kind of in the way of that functional trainer, so we had to get rid of that. We do have enough space for now for dumbbells, but if we get more dumbbells in the future, we're gonna have to figure something else out there. And for some planned future updates, the all-in-one machine that was sitting right there, we took it apart, and we're gonna use some of those pieces to make some DIY equipment out of the all-in-one machine. There's a broken TV over there that eventually is supposedly going to be fixed, and we're gonna put it on the wall over there because if you have it, why not use it? We did expand the gym by 1 stall mat worth of space in that direction to accommodate the functional trainer, and in the future we're going to expand it in this direction as well. So that rack with all those boxes on it over there, that rack is going to come down. All that stuff is going to eventually be sold in a yard sale or donated or something. So once that actually finally happens, that rack is just gonna come down, and then we're gonna extend the gym all the way to that back rack and kind of clean up this space as well and move the gym probably about 10 feet in that direction. That'll add a lot more floor space to the home gym. We are going to utilize some of that floor space for a leg press machine, probably a seated calf raise machine, and probably just take some of the equipment that's crammed in here right now and shift it in that direction to just give extra space in between the stuff that's already here. We're also going to get a replacement Treadaway training banner for the one that came in that was incorrect. We still need to do that, and we're going to do something, I don't know what yet, but this kind of general seating area, this old furniture right here, my parents will often sit there and play with Link while I'm working out, or if my wife gets done working out before me, she'll be with Link over here. So this needs to be organized and cleaned up somehow. We'll figure that out. If you're good with organization and you see something that you can do with this space, then you can just go ahead and comment and let me know. Hopefully this video was shorter than 42 minutes like the last one. I guess we'll see once the editing is done. Let me know your recommendations for future basement gym updates down in the comments. If you want to check out my product review playlist, you can click here. If you want to check out my DIY playlist, click here. As always, God bless you and your family, and we'll see you next week. For for the rack. Next up, we're going to take a look at the last item on the, oh wait, no, the cable is the last.